video, why adding foods containing a very special type of fiber may be key to lower your creatinine levels fast. Catherine here. I feel like lately I've only been talking about the renal diet here, and there is a reason for that. More and more studies are being published every year confirming that following the right diet is the #1 best thing you can do for your kidneys. And one of the interventions that always seems to give results is replacing foods rich in protein with foods rich in dietary fiber. This really seems to be key to slow down kidney disease. And dietary fiber can make a huge difference, says science, because it binds to and help you get rid of renal toxins in the gut before they enter the bloodstream. We can almost say that dietary fiber tells the gut to do the kidney's job, to get rid of uremic toxins. Doing this efficiently enough will directly decrease the load on the kidneys, protecting them. It has also been observed capable of delaying end-stage renal failure by years, sometimes decades. What not many people know is that there is a special type of dietary fiber that can be used to achieve this goal even in the advanced stages. Yes, fiber is the closest thing we have to a true super nutrient. It's maybe the healthiest part of many different foods. This is why fiber can help so much in lowering creatinine levels. And today I want to show you what foods and supplements you can use to lower your creatinine levels. Let's start with a very underrated source of dietary fiber that you may want to add to your diet right now: ancient grains. What are ancient grains and why are they so good for the kidneys? Ancient grains are a group of grains that have remained mostly unchanged for thousands of years. Studies have linked ancient grain consumption to health benefits such as lower kidney disease risk, better blood sugar levels, and improved gut health. These benefits are possible because ancient grains are less processed than more widespread grains like wheat and rice. They pack way more vitamins, minerals, and fiber. There are 13 ancient grains, and even if they all are very healthy, not all of them are suitable for a renal diet. So question, which ancient grains should you consider adding to your eating plan? Well, you should consider millet. Millet is a gluten-free grain popular in South America as well as India and many Asian countries. Today it's becoming more popular in Western countries too, and it can be found in a variety of colors: white, gray, yellow, and red. Millet is a great choice for people with kidney disease and especially for those with diabetes. Recent study found out that this ancient grain actually has anti-diabetic properties, mainly thanks to the polyphenols and fiber it packs. So yes, eating this ancient grain in moderation is not just safe for diabetics, it's beneficial. Because millet is also high in antioxidants, iron, B vitamins, and magnesium, while being lower in phosphorus, protein, and potassium compared to most of the other ancient grains. If you want to try it, look for millet with the other whole grains in the bulk beans, the baking aisle, or possibly with the cereals at natural food stores. The easiest way to eat millet is by toasting 2 cups of grains in a very lightly oiled pan. Once the grains turn golden brown, lower the heat and add in 3 cups of vegetable stock and some fresh parsley or coriander and let it simmer for 20 minutes till the liquid is soaked up. More ancient grains and other great sources of fiber to come. Before that, a very important question. Can eating more fiber really make a difference with kidney disease? Yes, according to several studies, higher dietary fiber intake is associated with both decreased inflammation and a slower progression of chronic kidney disease, even in people in the advanced stages. In particular, a recent study directly compared the GFR of 2 groups of CKD patients. One group was eating more than 25 grams per day and the other group was eating less than that. And guys, this is frankly huge. The researchers were able to prove a link between higher fiber intake and slower CKD progression, as we have seen here. But it's not just that. These kidney disease sufferers were also able to benefit from improvements in cholesterol levels, in inflammation markers, and even in proteinuria. So if you ask me if dietary fiber can make a difference, my answer is clear. Science says it can. And in particular, there is a special type of fiber that can be used to get a huge fast drop in creatinine levels. More about this in the next part of the video. Now, another ancient grain with huge benefits, also low in protein and phosphorus, is sorghum. Not very commonly consumed in the United States, unfortunately. Sorghum has huge benefits for you. Being an ancient grain, it's a wonderful source of antioxidants and fiber you can eat instead of plain rice. It contains powerful polyphenol plant compounds including anthocyanins and phenolic acids, which protects your kidneys from oxidative stress. Sorghum is naturally gluten-free and it has never been genetically modified as a crop, which means avoiding harmful pesticide residues. Just like millet, the reason why I've chosen this ancient grain over the other options is its low protein, potassium and phosphorus content. These ancient grains are, however, slightly higher in potassium and phosphorus than white rice, so keep that in mind if you choose to add them to your eating plan. Obviously, these ancient grains are way richer in fiber and lower on the glycemic scale than white rice, making them an ideal carb source for people with diabetes or CKD in general. And sorghum is a very versatile grain, very easy to cook. It is best eaten in its whole grain form to get the most nutrition. It can be prepared similar to rice. Try soaking whole sorghum for 8 hours or overnight. Then boil it in 3 times as much water for about an hour or until tender. You can find this ancient grain at some grocery stores alongside the grains and rice products. Sorghum is actually grown in the United States. It is a major crop in Kansas, Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and South Dakota. Other ancient grain that I always recommend is barley. Barley is really amazing. It is low in GI and phosphorus, and it also boasts anti-inflammatory properties. Barley contains betaine, a nutrient that may help reduce inflammation. Barley is also rich in magnesium, great to lower pressure, and in iron to fight anemia. This ancient grain is also easy to find and inexpensive. It's also very easy to prepare. Throw some barley into a large pot of water and simmer until tender, about 15 to 20 minutes for pearl barley. Drain and serve with some olive oil and roasted veggies. And by the way guys, I know that some of you will be asking me why I'm recommending high carb foods to people with diabetes. And the reason is simple, because you need to avoid protein if you have kidney disease in any stage. This means that you will need more carbs. You cannot eat only fats in your life. It doesn't work. It's not safe. On the other hand, eating more foods that are rich in fiber and low on the glycemic index is going to be your best strategy at controlling both diabetes and kidney disease. This is why I've also made a full video about this topic, high carb foods that are great for diabetic kidney disease. It's up here and also down in description. And guys, the foods I talk about in my videos usually come with one or more special property that can help you. And barley is very rich in fiber, like all the foods of today's video. But it is also particularly rich in one special type of fiber called soluble fiber, which is the healthiest fiber you can find. Question: what's so special about soluble fiber? In general, fiber is a carbohydrate that your body can't digest, so it has no calories, but it will still make you feel full. Of the two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble, soluble is even more useful. Soluble fiber dissolves in water, so when it reaches your GI tract, it forms into a gel. This slows down digestion, helping you avoid a sugar spike, but it also promotes gastrointestinal health. Even more important, soluble fiber can bind to several toxins in the gut, especially uremic toxins. So the more fiber you get every day, the better. Getting enough soluble fiber every day is also linked to reduced risk of diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and gastrointestinal cancers. It lowers cholesterol and promotes mental health. But you can't just eat grains to get fiber. You also want veggies. So question: what veggies are the best source of soluble fiber? Well, some of the veggies you absolutely want to consider for your eating plan include Brussels sprouts. While many vegetables are good sources of soluble fiber, Brussels sprouts are definitely topping the list with 3.8 grams of fiber per 100 grams, half of which is super healthy soluble fiber. And while Brussels sprouts were once banned for the renal diet, today we know that they have a ton of benefits for your kidneys. They can help lower blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels, very important for managing kidney disease. There are studies even linking an increased consumption of cruciferous veggies such as Brussels sprouts to a significantly decreased risk of type 2 diabetes. Another veggie that would help you get more soluble fiber during the day: carrots. Many people still believe that carrots are mostly there to help you see better. But while that is just a myth, there are many benefits of carrots that are actually supported by science. First of all, they are a great source of soluble fiber, especially if you compare grams of soluble fiber to grams of protein we get from carrots. Now, the soluble fiber in carrots is mainly pectin. Pectin is not just great to help gut health, it also binds to cholesterol in the intestine. So if you want to lower your cholesterol and triglycerides levels, also add carrot to your diet, says science. Another great source of soluble fiber: broccoli. Broccoli is definitely one of the healthiest foods on earth, a true powerhouse of nutrients. It's reputed to benefit digestion, the cardiovascular system, and the immune system. Research also tells us that eating broccoli fights the inflammation in the body. This little veggie also has detoxing properties, very useful to lower your creatinine levels thanks to unique phytochemicals. These plant compounds aid all steps of the body's detoxification process, from activation to neutralization and elimination of contaminants. Not to mention the very high fiber content of broccoli, especially when compared to the small amount of calories this veggie has. And yes, many of these foods are rich in potassium, but potassium should not be considered a boogeyman for people with kidney disease it once was. There are still people that need to limit it, but this is not true for everyone anymore. If you want to learn more about potassium, watch my video about this topic. It's up here and also down in the description. And guys, when it comes to increasing your intake of soluble fiber, you can also consider supplements. You see, grains and veggies are extremely healthy for you, don't get me wrong, but they also contain some protein, some carbs, potassium and phosphorus. And getting the right amount of fiber every day, which is a pretty high bar, 38 grams for men and 25 grams for women, is not easy. Not many people manage to eat all the fiber they need every day. So time to cut this fiber gap and start lowering our creatinine levels. There is a supplement that I use every day and that I always recommend, especially because, as I was saying, soluble fiber can bind and help excreting renal toxins in the gut before they enter the bloodstream. And this is a supplement of pure soluble fiber that has been studied for its property of directly binding to and removing uremic toxins. I'm talking about acacia fiber. I really recommend you try adding this one to your eating plan if you already haven't. The reason is because acacia fiber alone can make a serious difference in all the stages of CKD despite the cause of the issue. This 100% natural substance directly binds to creatinine and other uremic toxins in the intestine, preventing them from reaching the precious filters of the body. Acacia fiber is so effective in removing creatinine, it was used in test subjects with stage 5 CKD who wanted to avoid being tied to a machine. Instead, they were given acacia fiber. It worked so well. Some of them were able to avoid the Big D machine for years. After that, more research showed that this natural substance can help in all the stages of CKD. Acacia fiber is a powerful anti-inflammatory and an antioxidant that scavenges free radicals in the body. So consider adding it to your regimen if you aren't using it already. And more info about it in description, by the way. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all.